Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston meet a kid selling candy to help his sick mother. What they do will touch you. The crisp morning air of New York City held the scent of roasted peanuts and exhaust fumes as Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston strolled through Central Park. It was early spring. Delicate pink and white blossoms flirted with the breeze while joggers, dog walkers and tourists filled the winding paths. Adam wore his signature loose hoodie and basketball shorts, a coffee in hand, while Jennifer, in jeans and a beige trench coat, hid behind oversized sunglasses. They had just wrapped a promotional interview for their latest film and decided to take a rare, unscripted walk. It's weird how you can be so famous and yet so invisible here, Jennifer mused, glancing at the passing crowd. Adam chuckled. New Yorkers have their own agenda. They barely notice us. But just then, something did catch Adam's eye. Near the Bethesda fountain, a small boy stood behind a makeshift cardboard table, worn and slightly tilted, with a simple hand-drawn sign, "Homemade candy for sale. Help my mom get better." The boy, no older than 8 or 9, wore an oversized coat and mismatched gloves. His dark hair peeked out from beneath a wool beanie, and his cheeks were flushed red from the chill. His small hands carefully arranged colorful packets of candy. In neat rows, each tied with a tiny ribbon, Adam slowed down, tapping Jennifer on the arm. "Did you see that?" Jennifer followed his gaze and frowned softly. "Yeah, that's not just a kid with a lemonade stand." They walked over quietly. As they approached, the boy straightened and put on a brave smile. "Hi, would you like to buy some candy?" His voice was hopeful, though fatigue tugged at the edges of his words. Adam knelt to eye level, his voice gentle. "What's your name, buddy?" "Eli," the boy replied. "My mom's really sick. She has to go to the hospital a lot. I'm helping her with the bills." Jennifer's heart clenched. "You're very brave, Eli. How long have you been out?" "Here, since 7, Eli admitted shyly. "I go home when my neighbor checks on my mom." Adam and Jennifer exchanged a look. The laughter and casual banter of the park faded as the weight of the boy's reality settled between them. Without thinking twice, Adam pulled out his wallet and bought every single packet on the table. Jennifer crouched next to Eli and asked, "Would it be okay if we walked you home? We'd like to meet your mom." Eli hesitated, unsure. The kindness was overwhelming and unfamiliar. But something in their faces reassured him. "Okay," he whispered. They helped him pack up the table and carry the boxes of remaining candy. As they walked, Eli told them about his mom, Anna, a single parent who had been battling chronic kidney disease. The hospital visits were frequent, the medications expensive, and insurance had only covered part of the costs. They reached a modest brownstone in Harlem. The building had seen better days, with cracked steps and peeling paint, but it radiated a warmth that money couldn't buy. Inside, Anna lay on a worn couch, thin and pale, but her eyes sparkled with love as Eli entered the room with his new friends. "Mom, these are nice people I met today. They helped me with the candy," Eli said. Anna struggled to sit up, startled to see the famous pair in her tiny living room. "Oh my. You're..." Jennifer gently held Anna's hand. "Just people who care, Anna." The conversation flowed easily. They listened to Anna's story of resilience, the community members who helped when they could, and the crushing uncertainty of living day to day. Adam and Jennifer promised to help in any way they could, not just for publicity, but because they were genuinely moved. As they left later that day, Jennifer whispered to Adam, "We can't walk away from this." Adam nodded firmly. "We won't." Outside, the streetlights flickered to life as dusk settled over the city. The first step had been taken, and neither of them knew yet how deeply this encounter would change their lives and Eli's. The following morning, the weight of the previous day lingered heavily on Adam and Jennifer as they sat in a quiet corner of a Soho cafe. Outside, the city bustled with yellow taxis, street vendors, and hurried pedestrians. But inside, a bubble of focused calm surrounded them. Adam sipped his black coffee, eyes distant. "I couldn't sleep last night," he admitted. "I kept thinking about Anna and Eli. That boy's out there at 7 a.m. in the cold. That's not right." Jennifer nodded solemnly. "I've been thinking too. They're not asking for charity. They just need a break, a little push." She glanced at her phone, where she had already jotted down ideas. "We have the resources, Adam. We can do more than buy candy." They agreed. They wouldn't simply write a check and move on. They wanted to create something lasting for Anna and Eli and others in similar situations. The first step was to discreetly contact Anna. That afternoon, Jennifer called her with an offer. "Hi, Anna, it's Jennifer. From yesterday." There was a pause on the line. "I thought maybe it was a dream." Jennifer smiled softly. "It wasn't. Listen, Adam and I talked. We'd like to help. Could we meet again?" A day later, they sat together in Anna's small but tidy apartment. Una had dressed in her best, a simple navy sweater and faded jeans, her hair brushed neatly despite her frailty. Eli hovered protectively by her side. "I'm grateful for your kindness," Anna said earnestly, "but I don't want handouts. I've always believed in working for what we have." Adam leaned forward. "We respect that. We were thinking about starting a community fund, not just for you, but for families in tough spots. You and Eli would be our first partners." Anna looked stunned. "A fund?" Jennifer nodded. "We'd cover your medical expenses now, but in the long run, the fund would help other single parents fighting health battles. You could even help run it when you're feeling stronger." Eli's face lit up. "So, other kids won't have to sell candy in the cold?" "That's the idea, buddy," Adam smiled. Moved beyond words, Anna wiped her eyes. "I never thought something like this could happen for us." In the weeks that followed, the project, the Eli and Anna Fund, began to take shape. Adam and Jennifer quietly brought in trusted advisors, lawyers, and non-profit specialists. They refused to make a big, public announcement. They wanted authenticity, not publicity. The media still caught wind of their frequent trips uptown. Paparazzi photos circulated of Adam carrying boxes of groceries and Jennifer helping Anna to medical appointments. Speculation ran wild, but Adam and Jennifer stayed silent. Their focus remained on Anna's treatment. They arranged for one of the best nephrologists in the city to oversee Anna's care. They covered every appointment, medication, and therapy session. The improvement was almost immediate. Anna's color returned, her energy grew, and for the first time in months, Eli slept through the night without worry. But challenges remained. Starting a non-profit required endless paperwork, permits, and clear goals. Jennifer became the strategist, organizing meetings and coordinating volunteers. Adam used his connections to quietly secure donations. Neither relied on their celebrity status to cut corners. One evening, after a long day of planning, Adam and Jennifer walked along the Brooklyn Heights promenade, watching the Manhattan skyline glow across the water. "We're actually doing this," Jennifer whispered. Adam smiled, leaning on the railing. "Yeah, and it feels better than any movie premiere." Jennifer glanced at him. "What happens when the world finds out?" Adam shrugged. "Let them. They'll just see two people trying to do what's right." The real test would come soon. Eli and Anna's story had inspired the beginnings of a movement. More families were reaching out. The fund was almost ready to launch. As they walked back under the city lights, neither Adam nor Jennifer knew that their small act of kindness was about to spark something much bigger than they had ever anticipated. Spring had fully embraced New York City. Trees along the avenues bloomed in vibrant pinks and whites, and street musicians filled the air with soft jazz. The Eli and Anna Fund was ready to launch, and despite Adam and Jennifer's efforts to keep it low-key, word had spread. On a bright, Monday morning, Anna and Eli stood between Adam and Jennifer at a modest press event in Bryant Park. It wasn't flashy, no red carpet, no branded backdrops. Just a small stage, a few chairs, and a simple banner with the fund's name in understated navy and gold. Anna held the microphone nervously. Cameras flashed. Reporters leaned in. "I'm just a mum who got lucky enough to meet two people who refused to look the other way," she said, her voice trembling with emotion. "But this fund isn't about me. It's for every parent who lies awake at night, terrified of how they'll pay for medicine or the next hospital bill." Eli squeezed her hand tightly. When Adam stepped up to speak, he kept it short. "We didn't start this to be heroes. We did it because it's the right thing to do. No child should have to become the adult in their family just to survive." The initial response was overwhelmingly positive. Celebrities, athletes, and business leaders quietly contributed. Stories of struggling families began pouring in from across the country. A website was launched with simple, clear instructions on how to apply for help. But with attention came scrutiny. Tabloids speculated wildly. Sandler and Aniston's secret charity project, publicity stunt or genuine mission? Critics questioned their motives, dissecting every appearance and statement. Anonymous bloggers accused them of trying to repair public images. The worst came late one night when Jennifer scrolled through her phone in frustration. "They're actors. Everything they do is fake," she read aloud bitterly, tossing the phone onto the couch in Adam's Upper West Side apartment. "I knew this would happen." Adam leaned back in his chair, rubbing his temples. "We knew, but it still sucks." Jennifer paced the room. "We're not even promoting this like a campaign. Why can't people just let us do good?" Adam's calm voice broke through her frustration. "Because people love to tear down what they don't understand. We're not doing this for them." A knock interrupted them. Eli stood at the door, holding 2 mugs of hot cocoa. "Mom says cocoa fixes everything," he said with a grin. Jennifer laughed despite herself and took the mug. "Your mom's a wise woman." The next day, Anna called an impromptu meeting. She insisted on joining them at the foundation's small office in Harlem against her doctor's cautious advice. "I won't let people drag your names through the mud for helping me," Anna declared firmly. "You gave me my life back. You gave Eli back his childhood." Together, they agreed on a strategy: transparency. They published every donation and every grant issued. They shared anonymized success stories from families helped by the fund. They refused to engage in personal mudslinging or respond to baseless rumors. Slowly, the tide began to turn. Articles shifted from cynical to celebratory. The New York Times ran a thoughtful piece titled "When Kindness Speaks Louder Than Fame," detailing the fund's real impact. Dozens of single parents helped, hundreds of hospital bills paid, thousands of lives touched. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the skyline, Adam and Jennifer took Eli to a Yankees game. As the crowd roared and lights blazed across the stadium, Eli beamed. He wasn't thinking about hospital bills or candy tables. He was just a kid watching his favorite team. Jennifer nudged Adam and whispered, This is what we were fighting for." Adam smiled as he watched Eli cheer wildly for a home run. "Yeah, it's worth every headline." Summer's warmth had settled over the city, turning New York's sidewalks into radiating slabs of heat. The Eli and Anna Fund was thriving. Applications poured in from across the country, and the team, small but passionate, worked tirelessly to review and respond. For a while, life felt almost normal for Anna and Eli. Anna regained her strength, walked more, laughed more. Eli joined a neighborhood baseball team. Adam and Jennifer remained deeply involved, but kept their distance enough to allow Anna and Eli their privacy. Then, one afternoon, Anna collapsed at home. Eli found her barely conscious on the kitchen floor. Panicked, he called Jennifer, who arrived within minutes with Adam. Together they rushed Anna to Mount Sinai Hospital. The diagnosis was crushing. Anna's kidney condition had worsened dramatically. Dialysis would no longer be enough. She needed a transplant, and quickly. Adam sat in the sterile waiting room, shoulders tense as fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. Jennifer leaned against him silently, her expression unreadable. "I thought she was getting better," Adam whispered. "She was," Jennifer replied softly. "Sometimes the body just changes course." The next days became a blur. Doctors outlined grim statistics. The transplant list was long. Anna's rare blood type made it even harder. They tried to keep hope alive for Eli, but the uncertainty hung heavy. Anna, weak but lucid, called them to her hospital room one evening. "Don't let the fund fall apart because of me," she whispered. "Promise me you'll keep helping people, even if I'm not here." Jennifer squeezed her hand tightly. "Don't talk like that, we're not giving up." Adam cleared his throat, struggling with emotion. "We're going to do everything we can, Anna. Your family now." Behind the scenes, Adam and Jennifer launched into action. They arranged consultations with specialists nationwide. They organized a discreet donor search, using every connection they had without ever compromising Anna's privacy. Meanwhile, they continued running the fund. They had set up strong governance with independent board members, determined not to let their personal pain interfere with the mission. At night, Jennifer often sat by Anna's hospital bed after long work days. The two women, once strangers from vastly different worlds, had grown close. "You know," Anna whispered one night, her voice thin, "you never had to do any of this." Jennifer smiled softly. "Maybe not, but I've learned the things that matter most aren't always the things we plan for." Eli coped the only way he knew how, by throwing himself into school and baseball. Adam became his quiet supporter, attending every game, never once drawing attention to himself. One hot July evening, as Eli hit his first home run, he looked up in the stands and smiled. There was Adam clapping wildly, Jennifer by his side. Later, that night, walking home from the field, Eli asked quietly, "Is my mom going to be okay?" Adam knelt and placed a hand on Eli's shoulder. "We're fighting for her, Eli. We're not giving up." The weight of those words stayed with Adam and Jennifer as the weeks dragged on. The media sensed something was wrong and speculated wildly, but Adam and Jennifer maintained silence. Then, out of nowhere, a breakthrough. A potential donor had been found. The match was rare, but it was real. The surgery was scheduled immediately. On the day of the operation, Anna kissed Eli's forehead and whispered, "I love you more than anything." Adam and Jennifer waited anxiously for hours in the hospital's private family room, pacing, whispering prayers neither had ever said before. Finally, the surgeon emerged, mask pulled down, a tired smile on his face. "The transplant was successful," he announced. "Anna's strong, she's going to make it." Adam sank into a chair, head in his hands in relief. Jennifer wiped away tears, hugging Eli tightly. At long last, the darkest chapter of their journey was over. As they walked outside into the fresh, dawn light over the East River, Jennifer looked at Adam and said quietly, "We've got work to do." Adam nodded. This was just the beginning. Autumn swept into New York City with crisp air and golden leaves spinning through the streets. Life slowly returned to a peaceful rhythm for Anna and Eli. Anna's transplant had been a success. Her strength improved steadily, and her spirit was brighter than ever. One afternoon, Anna walked arm in arm with Eli through Central Park, no longer tethered to dialysis machines or weighed down by exhaustion. They stopped by the Bethesda fountain, the very place where this journey had begun. "I barely remember how sick I was," Anna admitted, smiling faintly. "I only remember how everyone helped me." Eli grinned, tugging at her hand. "You're here now, Mom. That's what matters." Meanwhile, the Eli and Anna Fund had grown far beyond anything Adam or Jennifer had imagined. It had become a national non-profit, offering aid to single parents facing medical crises. They had set up local chapters in Los Angeles, Chicago, Atlanta, and Miami. The fund's philosophy remained rooted in dignity and respect. Applicants never had to beg or tell their painful stories publicly. Every dollar was tracked, every success celebrated privately. At the Foundation's annual gala, held in a modest hall in Manhattan, not a flashy hotel ballroom, families who had been helped gathered to meet and thank the founders. Anna, radiant in a simple navy dress, was invited to speak. When I first met Adam and Jennifer, I was a scared mother selling candy in the cold. I never imagined strangers would become my family. This fund gave me my life back, and now we're giving that chance to so many others. Thunderous applause filled the room. Later, Adam stood with Jennifer at the back of the hall, watching as children played and families laughed together. Jennifer sipped her water and nudged him gently. "You know, we could have made this a red carpet. Press-covered event," Adam smiled. "This is better." Jennifer nodded in agreement. "Much better." As the night wound down, Eli approached Adam and Jennifer, holding 2 homemade thank you cards. "For you," Eli said shyly. "Mom and I made them." Inside were simple messages. "Thank you for giving me back my mom. Thank you for believing in us." Adam knelt and pulled Eli into a hug. "You're the reason we started this, buddy." In the weeks that followed, Anna officially joined the funds board. She brought her first-hand experience and deep compassion to help guide the Foundation's future. The media finally shifted focus from the celebrity founders to the real heroes, the families who persevered, the volunteers who worked late nights. Reviewing applications, the donors who quietly gave, Adam and Jennifer stepped back, just as they had planned from the start. They continued to quietly support the work, but insisted the spotlight stay on the mission, not themselves. One cold December evening, as snowflakes dusted the sidewalks, Adam and Jennifer walked once more through Central Park. They passed the now familiar spot by the fountain. Adam paused, hands in his coat pockets. "Funny how everything started right here," he said thoughtfully. Jennifer smiled softly. "It feels like we've come full circle." Adam chuckled. "Not an ending, though. More like the start of something bigger." They stood in comfortable silence as the city lights twinkled around them, knowing that what had begun as a chance encounter had grown into a legacy of compassion that would outlive them both. In a world where cynicism too often dominated, they had proven that small acts of kindness, multiplied by determination and integrity, could change lives. And somewhere, not far from where they stood, another family facing impossible odds would soon find hope, because 2 strangers once stopped to buy candy from a boy in the cold.